not an isolationist story, right? If we think about the first term of President Trump, the Make America Great Again, America First, it was really about bringing jobs and manufacturing back to America. There was a concern about the U.S. turning inward. When we see him yesterday talking about perhaps annexing Canada, making it the 51st state, taking back the Panama Canal, his ambitions for Greenland, this is a very different set of aspirations that he has for his second term foreign policy approach.
You've got in your top 10 risks, first of all, Ian Bremmer's doing the hoodie thing now. I mean, he's really,
right.
He's really cutting a cash look there. I looked Lindsay Newman at the idea of the rule of Don is one of your risks. Is this a different Donald Trump this time around versus 8 years ago?
This is a Donald Trump who is facing down the prospects of one more term in office. And what we really see from him is he is different. His approach, not just his approach, but also his perspective is vastly different than what has come before him. If we take the nearest example of that, of course, is President Biden. And we know that administration was really about consensus building, negotiations, almost to a fault. So how many envoys did we see, if we take the Middle East theater, how many envoys did we see fly back and forth, Bill Burns back and forth, Anthony Blinken back and forth, to almost to no avail. We're still in the middle of the conflict. The hostages are not home. And with Trump, he's taking a very different approach, right? The approach is, let me scan the landscape. Let me look for the points of tension. Let me look and see how the U.S. may be disadvantaged. What are the interests that the U.S. Wants to pursue? And what are the levers that the administration can pull to create forcing functions and advance Trump and Trump's administration's ambitions? And we saw yesterday, and your last guest was just talking about this, we know a couple of those already. Of course, it's going to be tariffs. He sees that as the solution, not just for the trade discrepancies, but he sees it as a solution for how he could perhaps pursue those ambitions with Greenland. And it's also what also came through very clearly yesterday was about energy policy. The differences in energy policy, he's saying, we're going to drill day one. He went on and on about those 625 million acres that Biden has just recently taken offline. That obviously irked President-elect Trump quite clearly. So energy policy is another lever that he's going to be pulling.
Paul, I'm exhausted too.
Yeah, it's exactly. So Lindsay, how do you think our big trading partners are going to interact and deal with President-elect Trump over the next 4 years?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, you're saying, Tom, that you're already exhausted. Paul, you're asking how Europe is going to deal with it. This is actually the calm before the storm, I hate to tell you. And it's been a stormy week for Europe. If you look at what Elon Musk has been saying on X, on that platform, we know, I've been writing in my columns for G0 that, Europe and Trump's allies, the U.S.'s historical allies, they're already packing their go bags. They're thinking about this. How are they going to be prepared? We see, for example, defensive spend is now no longer 2% is not the target. Right. Trump himself said yesterday 5%. That's going to raise some eyebrows in Europe today. But they're looking to be more flexible on defensive spend. Zelensky says he's willing to sit down. Putin has said he's willing to sit down. So everybody's looking to be to know what it is to be in Trump world.